Hello, 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 and welcome to another session of Let's Get Real with Mona. That's me, Mona Naidu. I'm an abundant living coach, a women's empowerment mentor, a philanthropist, a human behavior specialist, an international and inspirational speaker, amongst other things. Now, thank you for joining me today. And yes, how have you been? Before we get to talk about anything today, how have you been? Because if you're like me, and if you're sensitive like me, you would be feeling the intense energies that we are in right now. You would be feeling the disharmony, the discord in the world. And for many of us, it's showing up right in our own lives. It's not just outside anymore. It's showing up in our relationships. It's showing up in our health. It's showing up in our businesses. It's showing up in our careers, our finances. For some people, it's showing up in all those areas. For some of us, it's in one or two areas. And I just want you to know, there's nothing wrong with you. It's just the times right now. And if you just hold on, if you just ride the storm, if you just ride the waves of change, and if you just keep choosing to shine light on whatever is happening in your life, you will get through this. You will be able to come out on the other side with so many blessings for you and everyone else that's concerned. And I say this to you very specifically because I've had to go through that recently. And I'll share about that just now, because what we're speaking about this month is about support. And today we're talking about support that either energizes us or depletes us. Now, not many people understand that when we talk about support, we just think it's all about either giving it or receiving it. But how many of us actually understand the implications of the support or the help that we offer? Now, if you're like me, and most people that I know before we became aware, well, when you offer to help someone, you don't think about your actions or the nature of your help or support and how it's going to impact that person. We just assume that when we're supporting and when we're helping others, that it's all for the benefit of the other person. Now, here's the thing. If we are the ones giving support, we have to make sure that whatever we do for others, and this can be anyone, it can be your children, it can be your family, your partner, your spouse, it can be your work colleagues, it can be, people that you support through a philanthropic cause. It doesn't matter who or what it is. How we give to them, if it does not light you up, if it does not give you more energy than you had when you started the support or the help that you've offered, if you're not in a state where you feel like you can jump up into the sky or dive into the ocean or go running up a mountain, if you don't feel that energized, then maybe it's time you looked at what it is you're offering. Maybe it's time you looked at what are you giving of yourself? What are you doing that's not making you feel that way? Right? So for you right now, when you think about the things that you do for others, what is it that energizes you, that makes you feel that alive? Because if you know me by now, it's not just about living life. It's not just about doing the same old thing every single day, every single month, every single year. It's about really living life. It's about really showing up for life. It's about seeing life as the gift that it really, truly is to each one of us. And embracing it, embracing every moment. And please understand, it doesn't mean that when we are embracing life, when we are going through life, that there's no challenges, there's no drama, there's no disharmony, that that's the only time we get to live a wonderful life. No, that would be foolish to think that. And I'm sure if you're listening to the session right now, you know that life comes with its ebbs and flows. It's all about how we deal with those ebbs and flows, right? How do we feel every time there's some disharmony, there's a challenge in our life? Are we able to flow with it with ease and grace? Or do we get caught up in the drama, in the chaos? And support, right? Support is all-encompassing. When we give support, like I've shared, it must light us up. We must feel that we have won a jackpot. When we do for others, we must feel like we are the ones receiving the greatest gift. Because when you feel that way, what's actually happening is that the gift of support or help in whatever form it is, whether it's your time, whether it's your expertise, whether it's money or any other resource that you may have, it just amplifies the value of it that you've given to the other person. I just want you to sit with that a minute. When you give from an expanded space, you amplify the value of what the other person receives. Yes, now this is what abundance is about. Abundance is about amplification of the good. Abundance is about using what we have right now and making it, the value of it, like 1,000-fold. Because this is what real alchemy is about. This is what alchemy is truly about. It's really turning dense lead metal into gold, into joyful experiences, into experiences of abundance. Now, how's that sitting with you right now? Now, how many of us, when we help others, right, we feel bad to say no? We feel like we're doing something wrong if we don't want to do something. Now, is that you? Do you do that? Because I can tell you, I felt bad not doing certain things. But when I started to understand that if I'm feeling bad, well, my soul's actually reaching out to me and wanting to interact with me to tell me, Mona, if you're not feeling good about this, then it means you're not in alignment with your soul. And if you're not in alignment with your soul, you're not in alignment with your abundance, your good, the flow of all the good to you, the flow of your prosperity. And it took some time to actually grasp that, to actually understand that. Because you see, I guess most of us have been taught how to show up. Like if anybody wants our help or support, and most especially family, you know what I'm talking about, right? It's like if family wants your support or help or needs you to give them money or show up for them, especially our parents, our siblings, aunts and uncles. I mean, how many of us here in South Africa? We have to take care of extended families. Not because there's something seriously wrong with them. They're able, capable people, but that's how it's passed on from generation to generation to generation. And I've had so many clients, whether they are local or abroad, there's certain things they don't want to do, and they would share how it would make them feel. And then when we would go into it and we would do activities, which I would teach them to do, that showed them the difference of what it is to serve, support, help others from an expanded state versus a contracted state, they started being able to identify what's good for them and their flow of abundance and what's not good for them and the flow of abundance. And remember, when we do things for others out of guilt, shame, feeling like we were a bad person, we actually aren't helping the other person at all. We're doing them more harm. We're keeping them in shackles. Yes, I'm going to repeat that. We keep others in shackles. We keep others away from a solution when we do things out of guilt. And eventually, it becomes resentment from our side. So can you imagine? Do you think we are sharing the frequency of abundance when we support people like that? Or do you think we're sharing and we're spreading more scarcity and lack in the world? Because remember, negative emotions, negative feelings contribute to more lack and scarcity in the world. And our positive feelings, our positive attitude, our positive words and thoughts and actions, well, that just amplifies the frequency of abundance, right? Now, how's that landing with you right now? You see, just recently, I've had a few examples in my life to help me align again. You see, every time we are to go to the next level of our abundance, whatever that may mean for us, it may be in terms of our relationships, it may be in terms of our service, our impact in the world, it may be in terms of our business, our finances, it may be in terms of our spirituality. Something will come up to test you. Because if you aren't aware, or maybe you've forgotten with all the chaos going on around us recently, maybe you haven't realized that things are happening for us, not to us. Things are happening for us to evolve, for us to transmute things. Now, if you have been paying attention to what's happening in the world, have you noticed how many things are being revealed to us? Things are coming up. They cannot hide anymore. And most people become afraid when things are revealed. But here's what's happening when things are revealed. Things come to the surface because when the scum comes to the surface, we scoop it out and we throw it away. We move it out, right? We don't sit in that puddle and become even more fearful. So the same for us. When something comes our way that pains or challenges us, it means it wants to be healed. So what are we to do? We are to look at it. We are to feel the feelings that are there. We are to then know how to release it, how to handle it, how to work through it. And that's what I do. That's what I do for myself, and that's what I do for my clients, right? Because you have to know what it is you're doing. Otherwise, you'll just sit there and think something bad's happening to you. So when we give support, we want to constantly remember we must feel good, right? Now, just recently, I had 3 opportunities, right? When I think about, like, how is it that I get to feel energized? It's when I stand in my truth, when I teach, and I guess when I say yes to me, right? So recently, just before I went on my trip down to the magnificent oyster box in Durban. It was, I think, about 4 days before we were to leave. Now, we got a call. We got a call from, someone that we work with and a school that we support in the area. And we were told that they're having the matric farewell and they need to raise funds. Now, this is 4 days before we leave and about 4 days before the exam started. And suddenly, it was like as if we must find the solutions. Now, remember, the right words were being used, helping the youth, inspiring them, giving them something to look forward to, hope, instilling them with hope. Now, all the right words were being used. In the past, what I would have done was I would have just jumped in, got Vis running around, and we would have brought things together. We would have made things happen. We would have impacted our plans that was already in place just to show up for what has all the right words and the things that speak to our hearts. Now, how many of you know what I'm talking about? You've done this too, haven't you? That some people know how to use the right words to hook us. And then we would put ourselves aside and we will jump in for that. And do you know what I did? I was excited when the opportunity first came, and I'm like, oops, yes, perhaps we've got to do this before we go. And then I realized, no, that's not in alignment. I'm not saying yes to me. I'm actually saying no to me. I'm going to be running around. I'm going to be having to push other things that I had planned before I left to Durban in order to do something else that came at the last minute. Now, don't get me wrong. There's certain things you will say yes to when it comes at the last minute. But there's also things that you would know if you are connected to your soul. You would know when something's coming in to take away from you and deplete you and take you out of that space of abundance. Because that's how in tune you must be with yourself. So what do you think we said? We said no. And then, well, everything seemed to flow after that. It's like other opportunities showed up for us, which resulted in us having the most amazing experience when we were in Durban. Because this is just it. When we say no to supporting, even if it seems like it is the thing that we are here on a mission to address, be aware that it's not always in your best interest to be involved in it at that time, right? So that's what happened. And then the next thing that happened, we went down to Durban, right? And we took my mom along. And then what happened? We had specific plans. We were going to spend so many days with my mom, and then we were going to leave my mom somewhere, and then we were going to go off on our own, Vis and I. And this was all arranged before we left Johannesburg. And here it is. Everything was falling in place for us as per that arrangement. And then we go to Durban, and then suddenly now my mother wants to change all the plans. And I was feeling completely like put into a can, and like a sardine can, and I was being stuffed into a can to do something I did not feel good about. And on the flip side of it, it was, am I being a bad person? Because remember, when family shows up, whether we want to or not, we end up thinking that we're the ones that are wrong. We're the ones that are bad. Who knows what I'm talking about here, right? We feel so guilty because we don't do what they want us to do. And I was so challenged. I was really feeling the pain. It was to such an extent that it was like, okay, let me just cancel my plans and let me just do what my mother wants me to do. How many of you have done that? How many of you have done things that you really didn't want to do? And I toyed with the idea, and I asked questions, and there was this, like, if I do this, do you think I'm doing the right? Because It's sometimes we want outward approval, we want outward acknowledgement that we're doing the right thing. And eventually it was up to me. It was up to me to connect to my truth. And do you know what was so magnificent? When I did, I slept so well. And the miracles and the blessings that followed my decision to stay true to my truth and my soul's desires, well, that's when the dolphins showed up. Because you see, this is what I did as well. I said to myself, I said to the universe, God, the divine, I said, if this is really my truth to take this step, please give me a sign. Give me a sign that I will not even doubt or question that it is aligned to my soul. And what do you think happened? That following morning at breakfast, there comes the dolphins. Now for me, dolphins are such a sacred symbol. They are a symbol of the divine. This is one of my, they say totem animals, right? But we're talking about dolphins here that are mammals. This is like my totem spirit guides. So for me, when I saw the sign of the dolphins, I knew that I was in alignment with my soul. And I guess I'm saying this to you because we're going into the Christmas season right now. And you're going to feel like you have to do certain things. You have to support certain people or certain causes. But I'm going to ask you to be aware. If it doesn't light you up, and I mean really light you up, take a moment. Don't just react to it when it just comes to you. Say, I'll get back to you in 10 minutes or maybe a half an hour, and go feel into it. Go feel into why you're doing something. Because when something's really aligned to your soul, you automatically align to your abundance. And if something is not aligned to your soul, well, then you are completely no longer aligned to your abundance and whatever good is to flow to you. It is that simple. Because what happens when we are not doing things that energizes us? Our vibration drops. And when our vibration drops, what do you think we go into? We go into this frequency of scarcity and lack. We go into lower vibrational frequencies, right? And if you know, everything's energy. We're either vibrating at the level of abundance, we're vibrating at the level and frequency of love, or we're vibrating at the level of shame, guilt, fear, and everything associated with lower vibration. So you want to bring it up. And yes, the decisions that really align us to our abundance, they are challenging ones. So the best part of all this, with me making a decision that's aligned to my soul when it came to my mother, is my mother has also now found the perfect solution for what she was seeking when she went to Durban. And the best part, she's got it at such an amazing, amazing price as well to support her with her healing journey. Right? Now, if you know me, you would know that teaching just lights me up. Teaching just energizes me. I can go on for literally hours without having to eat, without having to take a rest. How many people have you noticed that they go jogging, right? And they say that they love jogging, okay? And they come back and they are completely exhausted. How many people do you know that? Now, the question is, are you jogging because you're trying to force something to happen? Or are you jogging because you want to feel alive? So the same with support, right? If you go out to teach, or you have a business, or you have a job where you say that, oh, you're so excited about it. If you go out and you feel depleted by it, or you come back and you cannot even be around people anymore, then you have to check, is it depleting your energy because you spend too much time there, or is it for your highest good? Or maybe you're even teaching or having the business that's not even aligned to your soul, right? So when I talk about teaching, I love teaching. I love learning, and I love teaching what I learn. I love learning and then simplifying what I learn into tools and words that are easily digestible. Because this is it. Life is magical. Learning is fun. Teaching is fun. And the more we get to share what we learn, you see, that's how we spread abundance. That's how we spread the frequency of love. Because you see, knowledge is not just for the select few. Knowledge is not just meant to be kept there for the elite and hidden in special vaults and caves or whatever. And only if you are of a certain caliber, you come from a certain background, can you access it. No. Knowledge is for all of us. It comes from the divine. It doesn't matter who wrote that book or a scripture or a manuscript or whatever. That was downloaded from the divine. And that's for us to all have access to. So teaching inspires me when I learn it, and then to share it with others and to spread that wisdom out. Because here's what happens. When we let wisdom go into the airwaves, into the frequencies that permeate all of us, do you know what happens? We don't have to even physically hear the words. The frequencies go into us, right? We can just tap into it. We just have to stand and connect with it. And that's the type of support we want to be involved in, right? We want to share it. We want to give it. We want to expand that to everyone. All right? Now, as you can see, just talking about what energizes us, I can go on talking about this subject, for many hours, because there's so many different facets to it. But for now, what's important is for you to become aware. What support or help do you offer others that energizes you? And what is it that you do for others that depletes your energy, that makes you feel contracted, that makes you feel exhausted? Because until you become aware, you can't do anything to improve what's going on in your life. And remember, when we are not in alignment with our abundance, it affects our relationships, it affects our finances, it affects our health, our spirituality, our business, our career. We'll start seeing chaos all around us, right? So please be aware of that. And you know what? Sometimes an odd thing will just pop up in your life, like me, with my mother's situation. It's coming in to check. I could have offered support, and I could have done something that was not in alignment with my soul and my mother's soul. And I could have negatively impacted her and me, because so often the support that we give is not even benefiting others, because we are not in the best state. So, are you ready? Are you ready to pay attention to what ignites you, what lights you up, and what's been draining you, right? Because support must always come from this expanded state. And the more expanded we are, the more we have to give. And the more we give to others from an expanded state, well, the value increases for those that are receiving the support and the help. So I'd love to hear from you. What is it that energizes you? Some of you have shared with me already, and it's wonderful to receive your messages. But for those of you who haven't yet, I'd love to hear, what energizes you? What do you do for others that energizes you? And what would be even more powerful if you come to realize, what is it that depletes your energy? Because, as you know, we always give from our overflow. We first put the oxygen mask on ourselves before we give to others. So until next time, and sending you all so much love, sending you so much of healing frequencies at this time when there's so much of discord in the world. And just be aware, more is going to come up, so be prepared for it. Say yes when you know it's in alignment with your soul. Say no when you know it's in alignment with your soul. And do things that light up your soul. So until next time, ciao for now.